This is the new D-Word Community College, Waianae local. Is everybody familiar with our other facility behind Cafe Inn? We were there for 27 years. What we've done so far is move from there to here. We haven't gotten any bigger. We've actually gotten a little bit smaller. But next year we're going to start getting bigger. Okay, so it's really looking good. Would anybody like to do a poulet just to open?
Ke po ni naku pula, haluni roi ki ala, hukuma kai halavai, ki ai, hukuma kai Professor Keanu me ohana ki ai, holo mua la hui halavai, ki me kana awao, pono ike, pono na awao, mama wano.
This time. Okay, this is, like I said, this is the new D-Word Waianae local. We are an open education institution. That means anybody over the age of 18 can take classes here. Several of you look like you might be about 21, so feel free. We're always ready to take on more students. Okay. I'm not going to introduce Dr. Sai because he probably can introduce himself much better than I can. Okay, but I would like to thank him for coming out. Also, there's a lot of food out here. We have no place to keep it, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to finish it tonight. Okay, thank you. I'll turn it over to
Aloha. Aloha. So my name is Keanu. I currently live on the Big Island, east side, and I come up here to teach up at Winter Community College. I'm also adjunct faculty at the College of Education graduate division. So I fly up Sunday, stay here till Wednesday, and then fly home. But because I had to do it this evening, I'll fly home tomorrow. I'm a political scientist. What that means is my PhD is in political science. So I specialize in international relations and public law. I'm not Hawaiian studies, but I teach Hawaiian studies at Winter Community College. But I teach it through a political science lens. Yeah? That way, when I teach, you don't get angry. Yeah? I teach so that I can explain what happened, and then it starts to make sense, right? You may not like it, but you won't be angry. At least you can understand it. Little background about myself. I'm a graduate of Kamehameha. Graduated in 1982. After Kamehameha, went to a military college, New Mexico military. Got my commission as a second lieutenant and my associate's degree in pre-business. Transferred to UH. I got my bachelor's in 1987, and then I went off and played Army. So I was in the National Guard, went on both active and reserve. So I retired as a captain, 10-year service, okay, honorary discharge. And the reason why I share about the military, a lot of Hawaiians served in the military. In fact, they're still serving, right? And the military, Hawaiians tend to excel in the military because, it's organized, yeah? I mean, Hawaiians love to fight. Now you just put them in a situation, it's channeled mana, and then they kind of excel, right? You might say when I was in high school, my mana was flying all over the place. It wasn't really channeled. I played football. All I cared about was trying to beat St. Louis. They kept beating us, the opposite. And I remember my dad tells me, "Hey, Keanu, you going to college, huh?" I said, "Oh, okay, I got to go college." So I set up an appointment with Mr. Marin Awakawa. He's the college counselor back then. So I told him, "Hey, Mr. Awakawa," just in the meeting. I said, "My dad said I got to go college. Not like I want to go and pursue higher education." I said, "My dad said." And he said, "Keanu, you should have thought about that when you was a freshman." I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Your grade point average is so low, you can't even get into UH." I was like, "What? I thought Kamehameha Schools was college prep." I had on 2.4 GPA, cumulative 4 years. I couldn't even get into UH. So he tells me, "I recommend the Army. join the military, get disciplined, and maybe try a semester out at KCC, see if you can handle. And I wasn't angry. I was just like, well, I guess I'm not going to college. So as I'm walking out, there's a Sergeant Major Lido from the RPC from it. And he looks at me and goes, hey, Keanu, I hear you got a problem. I said, yeah, I got a problem. I got to go to college. My dad said. And he said, hey, I get you into a military college. And you get paid $100 a month. And you get your associate's degree and you become a lieutenant. I was like, hey, sounds good, $100 a month. I was thinking, yeah. So the only catch was I got to go to Fort Knox, Kentucky, basic training right after I graduated. And I can tell you that was the best decision made for me, not by me. And once I got into that system, I really developed as far as channeling mana, but also learning how to take responsibility, especially being trained as an officer. Yeah? So I credit the military for that. I'm not promoting the military. I'm just saying it fit for me, right? I also have a PhD in political science back in 2008, a master's in 2004. So I went back to school late. My bachelor's was 1987. I went back to school to get that. Now I sit on doctoral committees, I teach, but I do a lot more stuff other than just academics, okay? I just got back from Switzerland about 3 days ago, all on these issues, right? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk you folks through a way of thinking that we're not used to, okay? I'm going to walk you through a way of thinking called international relations, right? The word inter, what does inter mean? Anybody know? As opposed to intra. Exactly. So inter is between. International law is literally law between nations. Yeah? That's international law. Domestic law or national laws are laws within nations. Okay? What we're going to talk about here is international law, law between nations. Also international relations, politics between nations. Because when we look at Hawaii, we have to look at through the lens of our kupuna, the country, right? So my great-grandparents, two parents, was born in 1880, right? So that means in 1880, when they were born here, they were born in a country called the Hawaiian Kingdom. They weren't born in the United States of America. That's the kingdom I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a sovereignty group claiming to be the kingdom. I'm talking about a country which was multi-ethnic, right? The issue was nationality, not ethnicity. The difference is nationality is citizenship. Ethnicity is race. So you can be Hawaiian and not be native. Because the word Hawaiian is short for Hawaiian subject, right? That's how it is, right? But Kanaka is original Hawaiian. Kanaka Maile is part, pure, Hapa is part. Right? So you can be Hawaiian back then in the kingdom and be Maile. Does that make sense? That's why we have to understand these terms, very important. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this process. It's going to get complicated, but I've been teaching so long, I can spot all you folks, but you folks cannot spot each other. So I can see when eyes are crossing, blood vessels ready to burst, and my job is to calm you down, maybe clarify some things that you think need to be clarified, but you don't know. So I'll be watching you as much as you are watching me, because that's how we teach, right? So my job is to keep you engaged, right? Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. So, unjust war with the United States. Ooh, war. Okay. I'm going to start off with this. Hawaii State Teachers Association. The Hawaii State Teachers Association is a union that is an affiliate of what's called the National Education Association. Okay, so that's a national union in America made up of teachers' unions. Okay, and every year they meet and they pass resolutions. Okay. Well, this past summer they met in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, 4th of July, kind of fitting, 4th of July, they passed this resolution. So this is from their website, Hawaii State Teachers Association, Facebook. Today, the National Education Association's Representative Assembly, meeting in Boston, approved new business item number 37. Quote, the NEA will publish an article that documents the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy in 1893, the prolonged illegal occupation of the United States in the Hawaiian Kingdom, and the harmful effects that this occupation has had on the Hawaiian people and resources of the land. pretty heavy. That is in America, passed by this representative assembly of thousands of teachers, delegates. Right? Now, this person right here, Amy Peruso, I know her personally. She has a PhD, and she's also a high school teacher at Mililani High School, but she's also the secretary/treasurer of the Hawaii State Teachers Association. So she's in the union. I called her. I said, hey, first of all, congratulations. Second question, how did you get that to be passed? I said, well, they worked on it. It's about education. It's about talking the right information. And it went. So that is a reflection of what is happening within the DOE, right? They're educating themselves, and they're also educating people. So I found out that they actually used my book, Maile. Okay, so this is a history book. It's actually my doctoral dissertation, watered down for human consumption. So it's not so political, science, law, right? And it covers Hawaii's history from the verse all the way till today. And Amy actually used to use my dissertation to teach Hawaii history to freshmen at Mililani High School. It has a lot of military children there. And she knows how to teach it. You don't get angry. You just explain it. That's how it's supposed to be, right? You don't teach it charged with political rhetoric. It's just history. The good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And that, she knew how to teach. So she would ask teachers, this is what she told me, where's your resources in teaching history now? And if she finds out that they're using old resources, she gets them to change it and introduces them to Uomaukea. So I would recommend you folks get this book on your own. It's only $35. You buy it online from the publisher, $5 shipping and handling. It's a required book, so if you have family that are taking classes up at UH, maybe your granddaughter already has the book. Yeah, you don't have to buy one. But it's a good narrative of Hawaii's history. So when they say the illegal occupation by the United States, that is a red flag right there, because illegal occupation in international law, right, is war. Okay? Right off the bat, it's war. That's where it comes from. You cannot illegally occupy another country during peace. You can only occupy a country during war, right? So that's really a buzzword right there. Right? Also, I want to show you this. This is a book that was just recently Duke University is a very high-level public the annexation to occupation. Right? Irrespective of race, color, creed. It's information. It's history. So, we have to first of all identify, if we're going to say Hawaii's at war with the United States, right? Back then, the question is still war today. Right? If it was at war with the United States back then, we first have to verify from the independent state. Because international law only applies to the United States, not a sovereign country. Right? If you're not a sovereign country, you're not part of that system, which is the family of nations. Okay? In the 19th century, the majority of the, well, actually, pretty much the whole family of nations was comprised of Europeans or former European countries. Yeah? Like Portugal, like Bolivia, Mexico, Brazil, United States of America, that used to be a colony, right? But also Great Britain, France, Germany, Norway, Sweden. Okay. So the Permanent Court of Arbitration, the World Court, in 2001, they're located in the Netherlands. You can touch on that there. State that in the 19th century, the Hawaiian Kingdom existed as an independent state, recognized as such by the United States of America, the United Kingdom, and various other states. I need to unpack this for you guys. Okay. Independent state, recognized. Let me explain to you what that means. So a state is a country. That's all it is. A state is a country with defined borders, right? And people in it. That's a state. But not all states. State of California is not independent, right? But the state of the United States of America is independent. Make sense? Independent, what that means is only your laws exist over your territory. That is independent of other laws over a territory. But if you have two or more laws that apply in a particular territory, that's not independence. Okay? So Great Britain is an independent state. Only laws applies over its territory, period. Free law cannot be imposed in territory. Norwegian law, right? But the state of California, well, let's use the state of New York. So the state of New York today is not an independent state because there's more than one law that's applied in that territory. Anybody know what those laws are? First of all, New York, all right? Their legislature enacts laws. What other laws are in New York territory? Federal law passed by Congress. So you got two separate laws within that territory. But did you know New York used to be an independent state? Anybody knew that? It used to be a colony, a British colony. But what happened? When these colonies won the revolution, they're fighting for their independence, right? But that's why 4th of July, Declaration of Independence. That's actually when it happened on 4th of July, Declaration of Independence. It was actually Declaration of Insurgency. They were independent. They were fighting for their independence. And they were called insurgents, traitors to the British Crown. It took them from 1776 until 1783, okay, 7 years to win the fight. And King George III signed the Treaty of Paris. 1783, recognizing the former 30 colonies, which included New York, as 13 independent states in a loose union called a confederation. Okay, so you're in a loose union called a confederation, you're still independent. So at that time, from 1783 until 1789, New York was an independent state. Only New York applied for territory. But in 1789, these 13 independent states, that used to be British colonies, gave up their independence into a federal government. And that's called the transformation from a confederation into a federation. And that's when they gave their independence into a federal government. Does that make sense? And since then, you still got state of New York, but it's not independent anymore. For Hawaii, we were recognized as an independent state. What that means is only Hawaiian Kingdom law applies to our own territory. And anybody coming here, whether you, well, in the case of whether you're American or subject, if you're a citizen of these countries and you come into Hawaiian territory, you're under Hawaiian Kingdom law. You can't petition American law. British law. Does that make sense? Now, to achieve that status as an independent state is profound. That is a story in and of itself. Touch upon that. Three people, Galileo, George Simpson, unbelievable. They were able to get these countries to recognize Hawaiian independence. But the main country to recognize Hawaii's independence, when it was supposed to be that one country to recognize Hawaiian independence. Nope. Great Britain. Because in 1794, he Amendment first joined the British Empire. Hey, he joined the British Empire. He was British, not English. Remember, British, nationality, right? English is the ethnicity. Okay? So in 1843, Great Britain recognized Hawaiian independence. We're just like the 13 colonies that broke away from the British. We did it peacefully. They did it with war. If you notice on the flag, the Union Jack, right? That's what it's speaking to. We were never a British colony. We were actually a British protectorate. Make sense? Okay. So we were recognized as an independent state. That is crucial. That means international law is how we play this game. Okay. Now in 1893, there were only 44 independent states. 44. Did you know today there's 187? Back then, only 44. And Hawaii was one of them. Now, only independent states are part of the family of nations. That's why Palestine is trying to become independent internationally, but they're still running into problems of recognition. We don't have that problem. Hawaii is or was anything. So, have I confirmed for everyone here that Hawaii, the time of my great-grandparents, they lived in independence? Okay. So now, let's say with regard to the states. And before we get into international relations, this is my area of my PhD. Yeah? So Judge Greenwood, from the International Court of Justice, says that traditional international law was based upon a rigid distinction between state of war and state of peace. Did you know you can go to war? International law, and it's legal. International law actually regulates war. So anybody served in the military here? So you know the Hague Conventions. Those are in all member families, commerce, natives, very different, right? Today, we make sure we're looking at yesterday. Because we look at it today, you're in a lot of assumptions of and then right? Now you can go to the source. Don't be fooled, make out my face, right? You gotta go to the source, what's there, and that's what we're doing. So remember, the practical value of history is how we're going to approach it. Practical value of history is that it's a film of the past, run through the projected on to tomorrow. That never changed, but projector got to get updated. Once you update the projector, you can process more film. Now you see something, and that's when you have what is called EK. Right? You have foresight. When you have foresight, now you can see what you need to do, and that's when you can on. It all begins with processing the film. That's important. Okay. What we're doing is processing film. I'm being focused projector. I'm taking film. So, state of war, state of peace. This guy. Very, very well known scholar on international, that is international. They're different. So the question is, what was Hawaii on January 15, 1890? I can tell you it was in a state of peace, so these laws would apply. After January 16, now these will apply. Okay. Now, Professor Quincy Wright, another political scientist, he's against any state, any country in the world manifests attention to make war by some overt act, which may take the form of an act of war. Okay, that's a trigger word. Act of war. International relations. Okay. War in the legal sense means a period of time during which the extraordinary laws of war and neutrality have superseded the normal law of peace in the relations between states or countries. So now we'll go back and see how this from our history. First, patriotic league. Okay, he was an attorney, also a statesman. Served for time as Queen Lily Minister of Foreign Affairs. He served in the legislature from 1872 to 1892. 1871 to 1891, something like that. Very accommodating. He's head of the patriotic league. And they put in position after the takeover of 1890. They say this last January 17, a political crime was committed not only against the legitimate sovereign of the Hawaiian Kingdom, Queen, but also against the whole of one nation, the people. A nation who, for the past 60 years, had enjoyed free and happy constitutional support. This was done by a coup d'etat, U.S. Minister, Ambassador Stevens, in collusion with all of conspirators, faithless sons of missionaries. Because you know what, it wasn't missionaries that overthrew the Hawaiian government. And on top of that, it wasn't even the missionaries that overthrew it. It was actually the military. Everybody blames the missionaries for everything. Okay, take it easy. It's not missionaries, it's the faithless sons of missionaries. Erdo, Lawrence Thurston. Now, what's important, we're reading text from that time. So this is like a window into 1893. It's pretty powerful. So many faithless sons of missionaries and local politicians, angered by continuous political defeat, who, as revenge for being a hopeless minority in the country, resolved to rule or ruin through foreign help. That's interesting. You look at the you don't necessarily see it in that sense. Yeah? Right? We kind of blame everybody. Right? You know, it's easy. Take it easy. But let me unpackage this. Notice he says this was done by a coup de main. Terms are really important in academics and also to understand history. Coup de main. Does anybody know what a coup is? A coup. Uprising. You heard of a coup d'etat? Okay, so a coup d'etat is an internal revolt taking over a government. Right? That's a coup d'etat. A coup d'etat is invasion by a foreign force. You see that? Saying that we weren't our country wasn't overthrown by fake submission.